This episode of Left Off the Mat, we meet Sonny Beatson, a young Tasmanian who took COVID and shook it up to create a food business that has gone from good to great in a short period of time. Then we'll head back to Avalon Coastal Retreat for a classic smashed British dessert, Eton mess. But let's start the episode in the same location with a tweak on a famous Italian dish. A classic carbonara does not use cream, but I'm going to cheat a little bit today and I'm going to use creme fraiche. Now, I'm not using it because, well, I am kind of using it because I'm worried that cooking outside I might scramble my eggs, but the main reason I'm using it is because I'm making a chili carbonara, and the creme fraiche, the acidity in the creme fraiche is going to help balance out the heat in the chili. So carbonara, we can do it all in one pot because you use the residual heat that's left in the pot to help thicken the sauce. So first thing I need to do though is my water needs a big amount of salt in it so that we can season our pasta as we cook it. So a good pinch and a half of salt that comes directly from that building over there. Tasman sea salt, that's where their processing plant is. Pulls salt out of the water here on the east coast of Tasmania and turns it into our lovely seasoning salt. Once that comes to the boil, which it is doing just now, I can put my pasta in. Now this pasta takes 7 minutes to cook. So once it goes in, I've only got 7 minutes to get this dish done. So I'm going to work pretty quickly. So we'll pop in our pasta. And remember, the pasta water for this one's really important because it will help thicken and stabilise our sauce. The starch that comes off the outside of that pasta, which you can see the starch coming off the outside of the pasta already, that's going to help stabilise and thicken that sauce. Okay, now I can make my sauce. So eggs, I've got 4 whole eggs into a bowl. Then to that, I want to add a good amount of Parmesan, probably about 75 grams of finely grated Parmesan cheese. Then about a tablespoon of my fermented chili paste. And then about a tablespoon of my creme fraiche just to help balance that out. So cheese in. Just added a little bit of grated garlic or finely grated garlic into that sauce as well. And that is my carbonara sauce done, or my fermented chili carbonara sauce done. So what I'm going to do now, once this gets to the boil, once my pasta is cooked, I'm going to strain a little bit of it, of the water, leaving some of the water back in the pot. So I'll strain it, everything will go back in the pot with a little bit of that pasta water. Then my egg mixture will go in and I'll move it around. Don't stop moving, keep it moving really, really quickly so that it doesn't catch and I don't curdle the eggs. And as it moves around, as the starch from the pasta mixes with our sauce and our eggs start to cook, everything will thicken and come together. My pasta is about 20 seconds away from being cooked, so I can turn my pan off because I don't want any more heat coming from the bottom because that will definitely cook the eggs. That looks pretty done to me. So, strain. Pop it back in. Keep a little bit of, like I said, keep a little bit of that pasta water in there because we want the starch from that pasta water. The heat that's in that pan is going to be enough to cook my sauce if I keep everything moving. So keep everything moving around. Just sit. So I'm trying to get I don't want the eggs to go above about 80 degrees because then they will definitely curdle. So it's just that I'm trying to allow enough heat to get in there that the eggs will thicken, that the cheese will be able to do its thing, starch will be able to do its thing, and everything will thicken nicely. So that has thickened up enough now. I'm going to taste it, see if it needs any extra salt. Sauce. Yeah, it needs a pinch of salt. And a good kick of chilli. Plate up. There we have fermented chili carbonara. It doesn't have the normal bacon or speck like carbonara regularly does, but it's a nice, different take on a classic Italian dish with that extra funky chili flavour that you get from the fermented chili sauce. There are very few good things to come out of COVID, but this has to be one of them. COVID started these donuts, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
How did COVID end up creating this?
That's a good question. So I first started because I had so much time on my hands, and like most 16-year-olds, the first thing I want to do was buy a car. And I knew that my parents couldn't afford me one, so I had to do something myself. And that's when I realised that if I wanted anything for myself, I have to get it myself. And so yeah, that's when I started looking for jobs everywhere to try and get my money up to buy at the time I wanted a Hilux, like a 4-wheel-drive ute, like most people my age. And then, yeah, so I applied for jobs everywhere. And I got the first job at KFC when I was 16. Yep. And I was getting like $30 a week. And then I was like, if I keep this up, it's going to take me 20 years before I can like save money to get a car. So I need something to speed the process up. So I was thinking, I just wanted cinnamon donuts. Just to make a little side hustle on the Sunday at the markets. I was just playing around different recipes and sort of I combined a few together, and I came up with like a perfect recipe that I thought was perfect. I got 5 brothers too, so if it was bad or good, they were the quality control team.
Right, it's a pretty good quality control team to have.
And yeah.
So you go from that, from perfecting the dough, and that takes a few steps, I would imagine, and you're feeding it to your brothers to make sure that it's spot on. Yep. Now you've got this perfected dough. Yep. When did it come to mind that you could take this dough that you created and turn it into an actual business that you could start to make money off and grow?
So I posted an ad on Facebook. I just said 4 donuts, $12 plus free delivery. And I put $10 to, you boost the ad so more people can see it. Yep. So a wider reach of people. And then, yeah, from then I started getting DMs.
Can I just say before we go on, kids like you are so rare. Like today in the world that we live in, for someone to actually use their COVID time productively and do all the things you've done and back yourself and take all these steps, that is a rare thing. You should be so proud of yourself. You've done a fantastic job. I know how hard it is to build especially a food business from scratch and try and get it up to standard. You've done an amazing job, man. Yeah, it was
extremely uncomfortable, but like you say, anything, if you want to grow, you got to go out your comfort zone. And yeah, it was super scary, but I just went out for it, and Yeah, and
So you start doing these deliveries out to people, $12 for a box of donuts, and you've spread the word.
yeah, that's right.
And then, so when does it take for you, what in your mind, what was the big jump? When did you go from, okay, this is kind of working and making me a little bit of money, to the thought and idea that I'm going to get a shop frontage and I'm going to be able to invest big in this little venture that I've taken?
So it was like it's a little, I didn't look at the full staircase. I just took the first step, and little steps to become what it is now. So like the first couple of weeks, nothing was too crazy. Just maybe a few orders. I think we're making like 12 donuts a day, and it was taking me all day to do it. And so I slowly started getting feedback saying these are the best things ever, and then sort of gave me a little bit of confidence. So I just kept on, any money I made, I just kept on investing back in. So I bought a bigger mixer than the KitchenAid, a little bit bigger fryer, and then I think the second week, the radio called me up, and that sort of expanded even more, and then more people were talking about it because they were like, oh, this 16-year-old's, he's making good donuts or whatever. And then, so yeah, we're gonna make
How old are you?
I just turned 17, so I'm not 16 anymore. I'm not a kid anymore.
It's a fantastic effort, like I said, to take COVID, which was a massive downer for most people, and turn it into something that you've now started a career in, is just absolutely phenomenal. Did you take any business classes at school or anything like that?
Actually, no, I didn't know.
So you're just learning as you go?
As you go, like you choose my business class, and I've left school now to focus like full-time on like business and stuff. But a lot of people are asking like, what about learning, or what about schooling? But I think I dropped out of school in order to learn, in order to give me time to learn about what's like business, like, and stuff like that. So
I'm a big advocate for school. I was a teacher for 10 years, so I'm a big advocate for school. But then again, there are some people like you who have got the drive and the passion and the smarts, the street smarts, to be able to drop out of school and take something on and turn it into what you've turned it into. And I think that's fantastic that you backed yourself. I'm sure you had a huge amount of family support.
Oh yeah, yep.
Your brothers would have eaten anything that was put in front of them and then told you the absolute truth about whether it was good or bad.
Yeah,
and
true.
then from that little adventure and that little chance that you took, you've grown it into this little empire here on the northwest coast, which is spreading through to Launceston. Out of everything that's happened, what are the things that you're most proud of?
I think the most proud is like bringing my family on, because most of my family members, my dad, my mum, my brother works on weekends, my nan and pop. So I've hired my whole family members, and they love it working for me. So I think sort of making the family like financial position like a little bit better, and that's been I'm happy that I've been able to do that. And obviously I get heaps, like my dad's been guiding me. It's not me just on my own. Like my dad's been guiding me, like I said, my nan and pop, my mum, like everybody's around me supporting me. So it makes it that much easier when you have people around you that want you to do well. And yeah, so I'm just grateful that I got, like, even the community as well. Everyone's been backing me, and so I think like I had to do well because I had so much support and sort of nurturing that. Yeah, they've helped me. Like my whole family and the community has helped me to succeed.
You start out thinking about yourself and thinking, I want to get a car, to in the end being able to make your family more financially viable and free and better set up. That is something definitely to be proud of. And hopefully that keeps growing. The Launceston shop opens and does really well, and you keep taking step after step. Do you think 5 years' time, is donuts going to be what you're doing, or do you think you'll branch out into other business areas?
That's a good question. I'm not sure at the moment. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm
not putting pressure on you, man.
Yeah.
You've done an awesome job. You don't have to think that far ahead.
Yeah.
But I just think for someone like you who is so naturally business-minded, anything you take on, I think you would be successful at.
Yeah.
So if anyone is out there and has an opportunity, a business opportunity for this young man, I tell you what, you could not back a bigger winner than you. I reckon you've done a fantastic job. And as I said, all the way across the Northwest Coast, people have heard about you. And people obviously here in Burnie, and you said your family are proud of you. The whole of the state, especially the Northwest component of the state, everything they've read and seen, are so proud of a young kid who saw COVID as an opportunity to grow something to support his family and support himself. And that's so rare in this world for that to happen. So you've done a fantastic job, mate.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Now, can I possibly box these up so I can take them home to my kids?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Cool.
All good.
Thank you. What an amazing young man. Now let's head back to Avalon Coastal Retreat to finish the episode, bringing together strawberries, cream and meringue. There's a classic English dessert called an Eton mess, and I think the story behind it is something to do with college kids going on a picnic and their picnic basket falling over and everything is getting smashed together. Anyway, I'm using that as my inspiration for this. It's more of an Eton smash. I've got some berries, my two favourite berries, strawberries and, well, blackberries are probably my favourite berries, but two of my favourite berries, strawberries and raspberries. Got some meringues which we've got pre-made. We're going to make a goat's cheese cream just to give it something a little bit different. And then here where we're staying, they've got these little mints. So I'm going to chop those up and put chocolate mint through the whole thing. Cream, to start with, I've got some cream here that I've got icing sugar, vanilla, and whipped it gently just till we get to almost ribbon stage. I'm going to pop that into a bowl. And it's quite sweet because I need that sweetness of the cream to counteract the sourness of the goat's cheese, and they work quite well together if you do it that way. So our goat's cheese or our chev. So if you're ever having, if you've had goat's cheese and not liked it, odds are you've probably had it or haven't had it with something sweet. So I can't stress the importance of having goat's cheese paired with something sweet. So a spoon of our goat's cheese. Chev in. I want to whisk that together. And once that goat's cheese is whisked in, we give it a taste. Oh, perfect. I've got it bang on. So we'll just scrape everything off that spoon. That is mixed in beautifully. It really does change well, sometimes creams, if you're having cream with dessert, it can be a bit sickly sweet. Adding that goat chev to it just balances it really nicely. It takes it to a completely different level. So now our smash component. Meringues, just drop in a couple of handfuls of those. Some of the chocolates, which I'll just roughly chop. Pop those in. It's always good when you're staying somewhere, just have a fossick around and see what they give you and see if you can turn it into anything. I've become quite good at that, all the places that we've stayed. Now that's going to add that crunch of that chocolate. It's going to add a fantastic texture. Some strawberries. Just a rough chop of those strawberries, pop that in. You're after lots of different textures, lots of different shapes, lots of different sizes. We've got one more. And then some some raspberries. Just pop them in. And then fold everything together with a spoon. And that is going to be a mouthful of so many different flavours, so many different textures, that there's no way that you could not possibly like it. I'm going to add a few more raspberries in there. I don't mind if the raspberries get crushed up and sort of start to stain our cream. I'm okay with that. And then if you just pop it into a big serving dish, and the longer that sits, those meringues will soften a little bit and they'll go chewy. Something that would also go quite nice with the mint and the berries would be basil. If you had any basil, basil would be really nice in this dish as well. Oh, yum! That's fantastic. Oh, that is so good. I wish I'd left some in the bowl. That is really, really, really good. And the two things that make it are the mint from that chocolate and the goat's cheese. Takes it to a whole nother level. It is absolutely fantastic.